I'm going to start with that. And what is really cool and what we do and what I'm very proud of is handmade doesn't necessarily mean like earthy, crunchy, or crafty, or souvenir-like. It can be super luxe, super high-end, super refined. And it's just all about how we work with people and how we design and create, which I'll get into. And I have a lot of experience, but I was trying to figure out, and I put this in this, added this to the CEU when someone asked me, like, how did this all begin for you? And it began when I was really little, because I was very blessed. I grew up in New York City, actually just outside New York City. And my parents, they never took me to a sport event, but they always took us on trips. And I was always very proud of that passport because there were so many places that I went. And so my eyes were open really early. Although this is a sample from my diary, which I found recently. And the diary has all the things I ate all day, every day. Which just shows you where like an 8-year-old or a 9-year-old's mind was back then, because that was about then. The other thing is, this was in my backyard, the Metropolitan Museum of Art. My dad worked 6 days a week, but not on Sundays. And every Sunday he took me into the Met. And I would kick and scream a lot of the time, as you would when you were young. But it made an impression on me. And one of the things that I believed was if you touched the art or the sculpture of somebody, that you were touching that artist. So I used to get in trouble all the time because in the museum, I would just like touch the things and the guards would be like, no. But somehow I do still believe that there's some kind of transmission. I don't know quite what the word is. And again, crazy exotic places. This is my first, the funny thing about all these pictures is you look at the fashions, you know how old I am. But you know, that was my first time in Paris. And I look really happy there. Those were nature trips. Those were more exotic Middle East trips, and you know, Africa and Malaysia. And yes, the Taj Mahal needs to be seen in person, because no matter how many times you look at the picture, you don't get it until you see that in person. So what I'd love to do is just 2 things real quick, and then I'd love to invite you all to the Tennant show where there looks like a gorgeous spread of food. So I hope everybody's hungry, where I will do a book signing. And the book is called Ode to Color. And it came out a few years ago, but something just happened last month that was extremely exciting for me. The book is all about color, but it's more than that. Each chapter is a different world of color, and each world of color takes you into a deep dive of what that color feels like, the history of it, cultural anecdotes, personal stories, all related to that world of color. And these worlds are personal to me. You may relate to some of them, all of them, none of them, but it's to encourage you to find your color worlds, because I believe that color can be a total healer. It can help us in wellness. It's a tool that people aren't talking about enough. We talk now about wellness in terms of meditation and yoga and aromatherapy, but people aren't talking as much about how color can help us feel good, calm, connected to nature, healthier, happier, energized. So with this, there is a color test on my website. You can find it. It's free. It's 18 questions. Take the test and see what color world you get as a response. And that will not be necessarily colors you like or colors you use, but it's colors that you may need.